Good afternoon everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be discussing inverse trigonometric functions. So as all of you know that the syllabus for 2021 has been reduced. So we're only going to cover questions of the reduced syllabus. Okay. So before I start solving NCERT questions and CBSE level questions, I just wanted to give you a basic notion of what ITF really is. So let's start. Okay. So the first thing that I really want to teach you guys is, say you have maybe, let's say you have sine half. Okay. So what is sine half gonna be equal to? Okay, I'm just trying to give you a basic notion of what ITF really is. And now that we just have to focus on basic things like domain and range and principal value branch, we don't have to worry about anything else when it comes to ITF. So let me just give you a basic notion of what it is. So what is arc sine? What is the arc sine of this value? Okay, so I'm sure all of you know that this is pi upon 6. Okay, because sine 30 is equal to a half. Okay, and we know that this is equal to this, isn't it? This is common knowledge, we already know that. Okay, so let me give you another one. Say you have maybe cos half. So what is arc cos of this value? What is arc cos of this value? Just think about it carefully. Okay? Just think about it carefully. And then we'll move on to board exam questions. Okay? So and this is pi upon 3, okay, because we already know, guys, that sine 60, sorry, what am I doing? Oh my god, no, because guys, sorry about that, okay. Because guys, cos 60 is a half. Okay, we already know cos 60 is a half. And 60 is equal to this. Okay, so I'm sure now you understand the basic notion of what ITF is. So now before I move on to questions and before we take off, there are just a few more things that I want to explain to you. Okay, it will only take about a minute to explain. It will only take less than a minute to explain. Okay, it's just for your information. Okay, it's just for your information. Okay. So sine theta. Okay, so I'm sure all of you know that here, this is what it's going to be equal to. Okay, but the range will have to be between negative pi upon 2 and positive pi upon 2. And then it's the same rule for cos. Okay? As is the same rule for cos and for all the other trigonometric functions, this is the rule. Except you need to know the principal value branch. Okay? According to the principal value branch, these are the solutions that you are going to have. Okay? If we don't know the principal value branch, we're asking for trouble. We're basically going to be in no man's land. Okay? So let's start with our first question. Okay? So now that the taxiing is done, now that we don't have to taxi anymore, we're ready to take off. So let's take off. Okay? So let's take off. So the first question is this. Okay? Tan negative root 3. Okay? So what is the value of this? Okay, it is tan negative root 3. What is the value of this? Okay, now I just want you to, relax, take your time and solve this. There's not much which is going to be asked from this very chapter now. So that is why I'm only doing questions which are not going to be asked. Okay, so when solving this, guys, there's one thing you have to keep in mind. The principal value branch. So the principal value branch of this very function goes from negative pi upon 2 to pi upon 2. Okay, and we don't have to worry about whether it's negative or positive. Okay, because this is the principal value branch. Okay, this is the principal value branch. So we don't have to worry about negatives. Okay, so this is how you solve this. So guys, the first step is this. We equate it to theta. Okay, and then now we do tan theta is equal to negative root 3. Okay, so for those of you who don't understand how we came from here to here, let me just tell you. So basically you're going to have root 3. Okay, and I'm sure you already know whenever you have a negative, then whatever expression or whatever number is here will go in the denominator, so like this. Okay, and this will be equal to theta, and then you cross multiply and then it becomes like this. Okay, just like you have 2 negative 1, which is a half, or x negative 1, which is 1 upon x. So in the same way, tan negative 1, tan negative 1, okay, like tan negative x becomes x upon tan. Okay, it becomes x upon tan, and then you have theta right here, and then you just cross multiply. So that is how you go from here to here. I hope you understand. Okay, so let's solve this. Okay, so now this is kind of easy. Okay, so now which value do you need? Which value do you need here, guys? Which value do you need here? Guys, which value do you need? Okay. So basically, guys, you're going to have tan of tan theta, and then you're going to have tan. So as we know, guys, tan 30 is 1 upon root 3. Okay. Tan 45 is 1. Okay. So tan 16 is root 3, right? So that is why now you're going to have this. 5 upon root 3. Okay. And then theta is going to be equal to negative root 3. Okay, so hence this is your answer. Okay, now remember that you leave the negative here. Don't take out the negative here, because then you're going to have a positive base and a negative base, and the examiner is going to be confused as to whether you understand what you're doing. So leave the negative here. Okay, if you need to take the negative out, you'll understand how to deal with that as I do the questions. Okay, so this is what it is. Okay, so now let's move on to the next question. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next question. Okay, so guys, I know that we are going a little bit slow right now, but we're going to take pace very fast. Okay, so this is the next question that I want you to solve. Okay, this is the next question that I want you to solve. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. So this is negative. Okay, I'm just checking. Okay, so this is negative. Okay. So how do you solve this? Okay. So I'll help you solve this. Okay, but I want you to try yourself. Now guys, don't worry if you get it wrong. If you get it wrong, I'm here to correct you. Okay? So just try. And guys, remember, the main reason why we go to school is because we don't know anything. You know, it's only in India where they say only intelligent people go to school. Outside India, people say that's the reason you come to school, to know whatever you do not know. So don't worry if you get the answer wrong. I'm here to correct you. If you're not going to take risks, you're not going to achieve anything in life. Okay, so let's start solving this. So guys, the first step is this. Okay, the first thing that you do, guys, is you equate it to theta. Okay, and I've already told you how you can go from there all the way to here. Okay, so now what are you gonna do? Guys? So now I want you guys to be careful, because what you have to do here is, what is the principal value branch for cos? What is the principal value branch for cos? What is it? What is it, guys? This is what it is. 0 to pi. Okay? This is what it is. So basically what you see, this is negative. So now you have to be careful. So now, this is what you do, guys. So the first step here for you is this. Okay? So this is what you do, guys. Cos pi by 4. Okay, this is cos pi by 4. Now this is negative. So what exactly do you do? What exactly do you do, guys? What exactly do you do? Okay? So now here, let's just do it here. I'll take it underneath later. So what do you do here? What do you do? Okay. So now, guys, the next step is this. So now the next step is this, guys. You have cos pi over pi by 4. Okay? But now remember that let's take out the negative which is here, let's take it out here. Okay? And then now you're going to have cos pi, okay? And then you're going to have negative cos, okay? Negative pi by 4. Okay, so remember, negative and negative become positive. Okay, so since negative and negative become positive, so this is going to become 3 pi by 4. Okay, and then theta, as you know, here it's 3 pi by 4. Okay, 3 pi by 4. So this is what your answer is going to be. Okay, so this negative, it's taken out here, and then we have the step there, and the negative and negative becomes positive. So now remember, guys, that I'm sure in class 11 you had learned that 180 minus sine, okay, is going to give you negative cos x. Okay, that's what you learned, right? Negative cos x. So that is why when we took this is going to be negative. Okay, that's why when we took this is going to be negative. And because this value was negative here, and it came here and it became negative, so we took it out, and then this condition here, and negative becomes positive, and this is the answer. So now, guys, remember that whenever you're solving complex numbers, you have to look at the Argand plane. Okay, so if it's in the first quadrant, you have A. If it's in the second quadrant, you have A minus pi. Okay, if it's in the third quadrant, you have pi minus A. Okay, and if it's in the fourth quadrant, okay, you have 2 pi minus A. Okay, or you have negative 2A. Like, all I'm trying to say to you guys is that just look at the Argand plane and you'll get an idea. Okay, now the thing with me is even I keep on forgetting such results. But you can have a look at that. But guys, remember one thing, that don't try and memorize things in mathematics. मैं formulas बिल्कुल भी याद नहीं करता. मैं चीज़ों को समझता हूँ. जिस तरह मैं आपको एक चीज़ बताऊँ. I don't remember anything. Okay, my memory is very bad. Only reason why I'm good in maths is I understand, I don't remember. And that's the same thing you have to do. Okay, so now let's move on to the next question. So remember what I told you guys, that this here becomes negative because of this. And the reason why there's a negative here is because I had taken it out here. So there's a negative here, there's a negative here, that becomes positive. Okay, and whenever you solve complex numbers, I'm sure you've heard this in the second quadrant, you know. You have a second quadrant, you have a third quadrant, right? So, you know, you have a first quadrant, a second quadrant, a third quadrant, right? So 90 to 180 is second. So in second quadrant, you're going to have this. Okay, so here, this is going to be negative. Okay, this is going to be negative in the second quadrant. Okay, in the third quadrant, it becomes this. Okay, in the third quadrant, it becomes this. Okay, and then in the last quadrant, I don't remember whether it's 2 pi minus a or it's 2a minus pi. Even I get confused. But anyways, let's move on to the next question. So just have a look at that, okay, in your book of class 9. Okay. So guys, now I'm sure you've understood the notion of how to solve them. So we started very slow, but now we're going to proceed very fast. Okay, we started out very slow, we're going to proceed really fast. Okay. So cosec negative root 2. Okay, what I'm going to do, guys, is this is cosec negative root 2. What I'm going to do, guys, is I want you to try solving this one. Till then, I'm going to put some more questions here, so that once you solve this, you can solve those. And as I'm solving this, you know,